Hello my friends, welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, my name is Christy and I share my journey of solo female van life here in beautiful Australia. Today I thought I'd take you through what a typical week looks like for me living full-time in my van. It's not just about road trips and waterfalls, though I do love those. A big part of my van life is actually about balancing work, creativity and everyday routines while making space for adventure. So grab a cuppa and let's dive into a week in my van life. Most mornings I like to start slow. I'll put the kettle on, make myself a nice cup of tea and cook up a simple breakfast, usually something warm and nourishing. One of my favourite parts about van life is being able to enjoy those quiet moments surrounded by nature. Instead of rushing out the door like I did when I lived in the city, I get to bask in the morning sun, listen to the birds and the ocean, and really ease into my day. These slower starts set the tone for the rest of my week and remind me why I chose this lifestyle in the first place. Once breakfast is done, it's usually time to jump into my finance job. Yep. Van life isn't just about travelling 24/7. Like a lot of digital nomads, I work remotely during the week, which means my desk is wherever I park it. Most weekdays you'll find me in front of my laptop, spreadsheets up, a tea nearby, and my little office set up in the van. Working a traditional job from a non-traditional home has its challenges. Wi-Fi hotspots, finding quiet parking spots, but it also gives me the freedom to live on my own terms. It's a big part of what makes this lifestyle possible. I do like to try and get at least a little bit of nature in each day during my work week, so I will generally try and find time during my lunch break to go for a quick snorkel, walk or a run. And this particular day I decided to go for just a really quick dip because the water's freezing, and as I went down there I bumped into my friend Alan.
Okay.
How do you do it? Do you hit it there?
Yeah, right. And touch it like it's a barbecue and it's going to burn your fingers. All right?
I suck at this so bad. Alan is such great value. He's one of the locals down there and has become a really great friend. He was a little bit conscious about playing his hand drum on the video because he's new at it, but I think he was amazing and I sucked. Saturday is my day to shift into creativity and work on my own business. For me, that usually means one of two things, either creating and editing YouTube videos like this one, or working on my art prints for my website. Running a business as a side hustle takes a lot of time. There are so many moving parts people don't always see, from photographing artwork, editing images, setting up product pages, packaging prints, to just keeping up with social media and emails. It honestly feels like a full-time job stacked on top of my finance career. But I see this as a transition period. Right now, I'm putting in the hours behind the scenes, building a foundation that will eventually create more freedom in my life. The goal is to shift away from only working for someone else's business and instead growing something that's truly my own, something that combines my love of art, storytelling, and van life. If you've been following my journey, you know that launching my website wasn't smooth sailing. I had some frustrating printer issues and a bit of a false start. But after a lot of trial and error, I'm glad to say I have finally sorted out all those problems. Side note, the printer issues that I was having may have been user error. If you would like to hear a funny story about that, please go to my website and subscribe to my newsletter, and I will tell you all about that when I release my first newsletter in the coming weeks. Now I've pre-printed a backlog of my favourite pieces so they're ready to go as soon as orders come in. It's such a relief because it means that when someone connects with my art and decides to bring it into their home, I can get it out the door quickly. And honestly, that's one of the most rewarding feelings, knowing that my artwork, which I create here in my tiny van studio, can travel and become part of someone else's space and story. After a busy day, I love winding down with a simple nighttime routine. Most evenings I'll head to the gym for a hot shower. I love my hot showers. Then come back to my van to make a light dinner. Once everything is cosy, I curl up and watch a movie or a TV series on my laptop before bed. It's nothing fancy, but there's something so comforting about those little rituals when you live on the road. Sundays are my flex days. Sometimes I'll head out adventuring, exploring a new hike, visiting a waterfall, or just driving somewhere pretty. Other times, I take it slow and stay put. One of my favourite slow morning rituals is sitting outside in the sun with my sketchbook. I'll doodle and draw with no goal in mind, not for my business, not for anyone else, just for me. It's a relaxing way to recharge before the week starts again. Now, van life isn't just slow mornings and creative weekends. A big part of living on the road is looking after the vehicle itself. The van is my home, my office, and my way of getting to new places, so keeping it in good conditions is essential. Van maintenance and little projects don't always fit neatly into my weekly schedule. Instead, I squeeze them in on any day when I've got the time and the energy. Sometimes that means sacrificing a few hours I'd rather spend creating, but I remind myself that every small fix helps keep my home on wheels running smoothly for the long term. A good example is a curtain I'd been meaning to fix behind my kitchen shelf. It wasn't urgent, but every time I looked at it, I'd think, ugh, I really need to get that done. After putting it off for ages, I finally sat down, pulled out my tools and got it sorted. It only took about 30 minutes in the end, but the sense of satisfaction from ticking it off was huge. I have been intending for quite a while to actually move that kitchen shelf up above the window so that I can have access to that window, but it's just, with everything else I've done with van renovations this year, the thought of trying to manage that at the moment is a little bit overwhelming. So I thought if I can just action the curtain, at least that means that light at that little gap at the top is not coming through, people can't see in, and I can't see out. The thing is, vehicle maintenance isn't just about appearances or ticking jobs off a list. It's about safety. When you live in your van full time, your vehicle has to be reliable. It's what carries you across long distances and often into remote places. Keeping up with the small tasks helps prevent bigger problems down the line, and ultimately keeps me safe on the road. It also protects the value of my van. This isn't just a vehicle, it's one of the biggest investments I've made, and regular care means it will hold its value for longer. So while these jobs might feel repetitive, they're actually an investment in both my lifestyle and my future. And while it can feel like a chore, I also see it as an act of care, a way of investing in the freedom this lifestyle gives me. Every fix and every clean is me taking ownership, making sure this little rolling home is safe, reliable and comfortable. It's not the romantic side of van life you see on Instagram, but it is the truth of what keeps the adventure possible. Another task I tackled recently was cleaning the rims of my tyres. The car wash never quite gets rid of all the brake dust, and it had been bothering me, so I grabbed a cloth and some cleaner, crouched down and hand scrubbed them until they looked almost brand new. It was one of those unglamorous jobs that nobody really talks about, but it made such a difference. And that's a wrap on what a typical week in my van looks like. From slow mornings with tea, to balancing work and business, to adventuring and keeping my little home on wheels in shape. If you enjoyed this peek into my van life, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe for more weekly van life content, art and solo inspiration. Thanks so much for spending the week with me. I'll see you in the next video.